Hey there folks, welcome to our GT7 weekly challenges of June week 3. Or it's June 20th to June 26th. Starting with the American Clubman Cup 700 at Special Route or Special Stage Route X. And I am driving the Mach 40, which, yeah, I have things to say about this track, which I do like one thing this track has, I will say, and that is the up and down slope here. Everything else about this track is kind of garbage to me, even though they're supposed to have another track in the future for some reason, considering you see this whip around and stuff. This part of the track is just never used, so it makes me curious what's it for. Otherwise, this track just kind of sucks. Bring back test course, to be honest. Because test course, while it's also kind of the same track, at least it's not ridiculous unlike this. This is just kind of ridiculous in terms of length. Like, what's the point of having this length for, exactly? Who's going to utilize this much length, to be honest? Yep, I'm driving the... I'm trying to figure out the name for this company, but the Mach 40. But the Mach 40 is basically, if you took I want to say because it's kind of weird why it's called Mach 40, but the interesting part is that if you take the Mustang Boss body and you widen it as big as a 4GT, and then not only that, you stick a 4GT motor in it. And what do you get? You get this. Get this crazy car. But yeah, I will say I think I detuned this car a little bit, so it technically can go faster than this. But even at like 600, 700 here, it still goes like 225 to 230, which is insane, really, to be honest. But then again, this is the given straight. I do kind of curious about Le Mans' case, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised to still this 230 there. This car is pretty crazy, what it is. Yeah, interesting ideal, but I don't know. You choose this or the GT4GT, your choice on that. So I don't know what's like really crazy about this car besides the design style and heck, the way I designed it too. Because I gave it some vinyl and stuff, gave it some color and stuff. Instead of the regular gray steel they gave it to. It's not. I'm not saying it's not a bad car because it does have a pop-up spoiler also. If you don't use the regular spoiler, although, yeah, I'm using the regular spoiler because it's better. It's just an interesting concept at the end of the day. It's just not I won't say well it's executed at the end of the day. It's kind of surprising you won in terms of design from SEMA awards, because I believe this is one of the SEMA cars that Gran Turismo does for awards and stuff. But yeah, here's where we get interesting though. The real interesting bit is this what's going on here, because yeah, of course, someone took a Tesla into a speed test course track, and as a result, I don't know if they're getting blocked, or they just don't know what to do, or they just can't pass them because they just don't have enough momentum to back that up. But you just see this pack all going 160 though. And then the Focus, for some reason, he will try to pass him, but all of a sudden he slows back down. Which I don't understand. He's not max revving, I don't think, or sometimes does that just prove the gauge is that fake sometimes, on my case. It's very confusing at the end of the result. But yeah, you just see a pack of cars back here, while you see the real contenders up front. But yeah, I will say you probably want a 700 pp car for this case, because that Corvette's in like 214. So try to get a car fast enough to beat 214. Yeah, but yeah, the C8 is very tame. He's doing 194, so it's not crazy. Although if it was the black one though, it would be a crazy story. I would think he would probably hit like 235. I would guess. And then you have the Viper GTs, which this is a funny case because the blue one's faster than the red one. Blue one's in 192, while the red one I believe is like in 180 something. It's very funny. Remarks. But yeah, I just couldn't help but stare at this pack in the next bit here. Oh no, 181. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God, the Tesla's winning. How? Just like really freaking how? On this. Yeah, that's why I don't also like the Tesla either, because you can only hit 160 with that because you're stuck with the crappy transmission given to it. So, you know, that's how it goes. But that basically wraps that race because yeah, I just couldn't help but stare in awe on that. As it turns out, I passed the checker at some point. But on to the European Sunday Cup 500 at the Spa-Francorchamps. Or the layouts. You know, it really don't matter the layout because they're kind of the same, to be honest. But I am driving the Mercedes AMG A45 AMG 2013. You kind of have to say AMG because it's technically in the AMG brand. So that's the fun part. But this is AMG's version on the hatchback that Mercedes made. And that's also why you still have to say Mercedes also made it. Mercedes made the regular version. This is the AMG version, as the saying goes. Because AMG is the higher performance of Mercedes. And it wasn't always like that. Back then, AMG was just a sub-tuner, but then Mercedes took such a liking to them that they decided to let any high performance Mercedes be tuned by them at the end of that. This also includes the Black Series too, or the special GTR AMG I can think of. But yeah, but most of the high performance cars are usually handled by AMG at the end of that. And you get these special cars like this, which in this case is supposed to be a regular A45, but A45 with a all-wheel drive too, which is kind of special because most hatchbacks are usually just FFs. But not this one. This one's all-wheel drive, and probably the competitor to the Yaris, I would say, in terms of similar performance going on there. Other to say, I did a 600 pp setup for this, so not bad overall. But as such, just drive my way there, cause yeah, this is 500 pp, so I'm gonna be just thrashing this competition at the end of it. Again, the first two is usually a big old thrash at the end of it. Also, when it comes to the switches, it's actually like making me debate if I should just skip these ones or not at the end of it, but no. It's just how short they are and it's how, you know, simple they are. But then again, I'm meant to show the whole thing, so I want to show the whole thing. That even includes the long endurance we have here, because yeah, we have a crappy endurance race for the 5th race. That's literally the worst one, to be honest. But yeah, you got your A45, your Alpine A110, and then another A45, because yeah, this at normal base tune does hit around 500 initially. Then you got the Megane RS Trophy. It's back once again. It's like everywhere. It's really everywhere, people. The 2A GTI by Peugeot. I'm not gonna say Peugeot 2A by Peugeot because Audi TT Coupe 3.2 with the all-wheel drive. Kia RS 220 trophy, something like that. But yeah, I have to say the all-wheel drive on the TT Coupe because there's actually another TT Coupe in the future that's a FF. That they could have. Golf V6 GTI 2014. It's kind of weird they mentioned that, but then again, maybe that's when they just decided to change the engine and stuff. Then again, Golf are also diesel, even though there's a whole Dieselgate scandal, so they probably don't want to talk about the diesel one. It does make me wonder in the future if they do add a diesel kind of car, was it going to be interesting or not? That part, because diesels are definitely higher fuel efficient, The problem is their cost factor. Diesel is a high costing fuel. One of the high costing fuels, I should say. Because then, you know, semi trucks and other stuff use that at the end of it. It is one of the high costing fuels out there. But you do get crazy fuel efficiency. But the problem is also performance too, because diesel is just not a great performance thing besides off-road means it could be. That's where diesel is just more excelled at, and probably a reason to make like some kind of rally Gran Turismo in the future. They could have these diesel variant cars. That and diesel is also like a sort of not healthy, but is healthy. It's not healthy by fumes, but it's healthy by its burn factor, because it ain't gonna burn carbon, I guess, on that part. It could be downright wrong, but I do believe that's what it is. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is why you don't see diesel cars somewhat, besides the Le Mans prototype. That is the Peugeot one. But anyways, off to Autodromo Lago Major, God. Doing a one-make race with the 812 Superfast. But yeah, I did more designs to these. Stuff like that. More fun designs to these. But yeah, just going against the 812s once again. But yeah, I took some notes from the last race, lowered the weight reduction, and just add more vinyl to it to make it more special. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm taking a like to it. It's very unique in regards. Probably my most unique designs thus far. That's the race part, even though I don't care about Ferraris. It's the fun part. But yeah, to say from the previous though, yeah, there is diesel cars, which is crazy, which is the Le Mans ones, because yeah, those are the crazy good ones. Because yeah, the problem about diesel is that they're more of a high torque than a horsepower. And then also, if companies want to make parts dedicated to diesel variants and stuff, which most likely not. So a diesel turbo is going to be different from a regular turbo. And such. There's a lot of differences when it comes to that. But yeah, just looking at the 812 though, it looks very pretty. There it goes. Like I'm pretty close to basically getting the design done. Which, yeah, I do have another thing to mention. I can go ahead and mention this at this point. So they released 3 new vehicles once again through Cast Picture. Thank you, Cast Picture. You know, I think like the last time, I don't think he tossed the picture or something like that. It was very weird in regards. But he did toss a picture this time, and we got 3 cars that I debate are even good or not. One is a Peugeot 3008. We're just still going to the SUV trend, aren't we? We're just making sure like all the SUVs are at, huh? But the other choice was the Citroen BX, and then the other one I'm not really sure. I should probably look at that a bit more and stuff. But to say it's I don't know, kind of technically disappointing for those that want, oh, I don't know, like a Mitsubishi Eclipse, or I don't know, maybe that Fiat Panda. Ever thought about that? I'm just saying, because everyone saw that in the design. Like, there's a Fiat Panda right there. Like at some point, at some video they showed. So very interesting in that. In regards, but yeah, at the end of the day, we just got 3 cars, and they're just kind of a mook, to be honest. They exist, but they are not the high interest people want. Yeah, we got some mooks. That thing goes. It's almost like freaking Mario Kart World with the NPC characters, for God's sakes. But yeah, just driving the 812 super fast because they are technically faster than me. Just on straight still. Because I am using the racing medium tires, because yeah, this is still the 750 PP build. While they are using sports mediums. Yeah, this competition is just out of the water. I don't know if there's any different designs. I'm thinking that blue with the striped one could be one. Then you have these basic ones. I really need to stop doing that. They just need to go. Well, I say stop doing that. We'll see if the person the design's based off of want it just like that, you keep it like that then. But if it's dumb doing that, then no. I think you need to apply a design to it or something. A more interesting design than that. So that's just basic, man. That's like, oh, you just put a thing on it. That's it. Which, yeah, simple can be an okay thing, but sometimes things can get too simplistic or too saturated in simple manner. So, reminder on that, basically. When it comes to designs and what you basically do if you ever were to draw or, you know, ever were to, you know, customize. Make your thing, make your chair. In with your chair. So, you build the chair, and then you figure out how do you smack the person with that chair. Yeah, just looking at the competition at the end of the day, which, yeah, I'm gonna have trouble in the later one because I don't have much to talk about this. How am I gonna have much to talk about the next one? I guess that there is one big thing I can talk about, is that I might have another Let's Play coming in pretty soon, also. That's me and my buddy's gonna be tackling Borderlands 1. For now. And then eventually 2, 3 pass, 4 pass. yeah, just to say I'm a bit of a, I guess I would say the Jim Warner of Borderlands. I think I'm just gonna stick with the first 2 and just call it good. Even though the bad part is they left 2 on a cliffhanger. It's the bad part. Oh, when I say 2, I mean pre-sequel 2. Pre-sequel is really good too. You know, a lot of people disagree, although it's kind of their fault they made crappy DLC though, except for the Claptrap Voyage. That was pretty good. And an interesting final boss at the end. But yeah, that'll be the next thing I'm gonna be doing sometime soon here. I can't say after Crash, but could be possibility. That's one thing to say. In terms of next solo Let's Play, though, that's the one I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm thinking either go to Spyro or do another platformer. I'm not really sure which platform to do next on that part. Besides, you know. Because I could just wait until I get Twistmode 3 and Twistmode 4. So I'm definitely getting those. There's no way there is about that. That is my childhood there. That is where I spent most of my time when it came to playing the PlayStation. There was that, Rayman. But yeah, I'm surprised Rayman hasn't showed up yet. But then again, crap can it is Ubisoft. We want a live action service games. Oh, you see, you bought the game, but you don't own the game. You see, you bought the license. Yeah. Yeah, fastest time, 2 minutes and 2. Okay, that's not bad. Not crazy though, it's not bad. I think that's faster than a grade 3 race car, but yeah. Historic sports car masters. call it, at the Willow Springs International Raceway course, your Ouija circuit, which I am driving the Aston Martin DB5 1964, which not does any DB5, but yeah, that's why I mean to say that, not swap this time. Just a DB5 at the end of it, but with my old Hitman color scheme I did. Although I retweaked it, this is based off more of the Blood Money style. Although I never played Blood Money, but I do like the color style. So more of a color style theme than the actual Blood Money game of Hitman. So the white and red. Cause yeah, in my vinyl designs, I do have a Hitman variant on the Aston Martin. Like, what if Hitman stole the Aston Martin of 007, just made it his own? You know, I'm waiting for it. Please make that war, please. When he comes across a special agent, kills him, takes his car. Or when I say kills him, kills that special agent as a douchebag. Like, you have to kill him. So that's it. But take his car as an escape. And he keeps that car. Because that car is probably not licensed, for one thing. Because I will say cars of that quality would probably not be licensed normally. I mean, there might be a tracker at least on the car, but that'll be the agency's tracker, I would think, at best. Or unless that special agent did not want to get discovered. But it just one crazy thing about this car. This car is really crazy about drifting, I'm noticing. Whereas high horsepower did, which yeah, just a 600 pp setup for this one as well. Which, oh yeah, if you were curious about the Mach 4, yeah, I was 700 pp. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. I think I did though. But yeah, I decided to like recolor, add a bit more detail to it. Then look at the man, the bald man. He's gonna can you. Gonna chuck a can at you. Hopefully it knocks you out. Especially the funniest shots you could just do chucking stuff. Cause I don't even know how he does it, but wow. Holy crap! Is that a special aid? Is that Hitman? Yeah, 129.8 though. Although it probably doesn't help on drifting around the turns. Yeah, we have a Coutage and a Maria P400 Bertone. It's probably just Bertone, to be honest. On the pronunciation, but I'm gonna say Bertone. Yeah, this thing is so crazy around drifting though. Oh my god. Look at that smoke. That's how you drift. You know, I'm just pushing the throttle and just turn right while just keeping it balanced on the lean. Yeah, we also have a regular DB5 too. But yeah, normally it's just in the gray silver bullet color. And then you have the Merrick, or Merrick, I think it's supposed to be Merrick SS. Fancy Stratos, E-Type Coupe. And you have the Fairway Z432. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think there's another Fairway Z of that type too. At a different motor though. Is that another Merrick? I think that is. 3.0 CSL. Or it's technically the first M3 sort of. Fairway 240ZG. 2000 GT of Toyota. And we've got the Skyline Hardtop and the Skyline 2000 GTR. The KPCG, I believe, something like that. Or I might be referring to the hardtop. The hardtop's also called 2000 GT. Although I do like it, they changed the name a little bit and just called it a hardtop. It really is a hardtop. But hardtop's just a saying that, oh yeah, it's because I will say they try to make a distinction between convertible and was essentially hardtop. In other words, having a roof over your car. So you're not get rained on, or when you flip over, the roof will probably save you. I say probably if it was reinforced good enough for that weight handle. And that such. Although kind of debatable of a car design of, you know, just yesteryears basically. Especially ones like 1960s and 1950s. Rolling and side smacking were not a thing in terms of car safety. They just make the car, call it good. And also make it as high performance as possible of that time. So at that time it was okay for performance. Nowadays though, it is a far cry. A little old 200 sports car, a little 200 horsepower sports car would probably beat it nowadays. Because either the poor tire quality or somewhat, like, man, sick drifts though. Jesus Christ, it's just around that roundabout, it goes insane. I think if there's one thing I should say in terms of design I should have done, I should have colored in the circle to black instead of the gray. So I noticed that would probably stick out more. That will help with the chrome, because yeah, I de-chromed this car. Made it mostly black. To have a bit of a different stance where the regular one has chrome. For its grill and stuff. Which, although I do like the black grill, which I didn't just make the grill black, there is a symbol there. So the Hitman symbol in that grill too. I say symbol, I mean like a logo or something like that. Cover art, some sort, a silhouette, I would say. And then yeah, I also had to change out a decal on that because one of the decals went 5x2 because it was a gun. That was a PSV1 and then strangely not there anymore. Instead I put the M14 there. But World Touring Car 800 at 24 Le Mans, 24-hour Le Mans. Which I am driving the Hyundai in 2020. A very technically fun fast car. If I wasn't driving this slow ass of a race, I gotta admit. But yeah, this is technically a fun fast car at the end of it though, because it's an all-wheel drive for one thing, but it's not just like any hybrid all-wheel drive, it's literally an all-wheel drive. I think this is like the only all-wheel drive Le Mans prototype you can have, I would believe. But with that all-wheel drive, I guess they decided to not have a spoiler with it, even though you do have a spoiler adjustment though, so it's just kind of weird at the end. But instead you just have this tail end, which is very interesting in regards, even though I think someone, I think your Pojo or someone tried to do a Mons prototype car without the spoiler and it did not work out well. So maybe this might do better about that, but it's just kind of weird. A very weird Le Mans prototype. Also a cool design too. In terms of most Le Mans prototypes, this looks pretty sick. Good. The only one thing I don't like is that weird speedometer going on there. Where it strangely has a Peter by the steering yoke. Which I don't understand at all, but I will say though, you better get your fluffy pillow out because this race is such a sleeping drought, I gotta say, because my god, you get paid $170 to drive 5 laps for Mons with a car that, if you don't get a very fast car, like this case, where I lowered it to enough where it's only hitting like 180 or so. I think I should have tweaked it a bit more, but to say though, if you have something with 200, well, thank God, because you have something very much faster than this orange slugger race. Because yeah, I still beat the competition at the end of the day. It just feels like you just want to sleep, you know, at the end of the day. And I almost kind of did, to be honest. I was just dowsing off left and right at this race. This race was just terrible. It's not interesting at all. Besides the grade 3 cars, I guess that's the big difference compared to the actual Monster Endurance, but it's the grade 4 one, which is the WTC 700, which is much better and pays better and is technically more funner in regards, but it's just kind of debatable. But yeah, your opponent for this one is the Dodge Viper SRT GTS, or no, GT3R. That's what. So yeah, they decided to imply the GT3R because the GTS was a class of a Mons. The S didn't mean sport. Well, wait, no, it probably did. But because since they have like GT4 and stuff, you have to imply its kind now, which is GT3. Because yeah, the Viper was made kind of in mind for the Le Mans too. On top of it, it was supposed to be just high performance roadster technically, but mostly a coupe. It's the funny part, because I love the coupe style more than the convertible style. Although I still would say probably bring the Dodge Viper RT10 though. Because I would like a classic Viper, and that would be the one, and a lot of people would probably agree it's that, because they probably missed the crazy race style you could do to that car in Gran Turismo 1, I recall. I believe it was in Gran Turismo 2 as well, because that car is a debatable one in terms of all the Vipers that were added. Then you had the crazy one like the Viper GT concept for 2001, the Capezone one, I believe it's called. God, I'm thinking Ferrari on that name, but that is not. It's a weird concept car they had where it had a very weird rear end and such, but it was technically the next Viper that was coming into place, which eventually became the Viper RT. Funny enough, Viper RT on the coupe looking one, or coupe looking one, was more slandered, as curvy as it was, which was a big thing people were missing. And then Dodge turned around and made the Viper ACR, which the ACR was so much better. And then when it came to the Viper 2013, they made another ACR that was even more insane. Even though, here's the best part about the ACR was there even on the original GTS as well. The bad part though about that ACR, it was just a name, really, besides the higher performance. Because it was more of a, you have to look inside the car to see the difference. Now I say that probably just by motor, because if I recall it was just more of a horsepower difference of changes and stuff, and that's really it. But the ACR is just American Club Racing. There it works. I believe that's our GT3 class name or something like that. I can't remember. It's really weird. I'd have to look more about to understand tournaments and stuff, because I say this tournament stuff, sometimes I'm definitely probably not right. I hate to say. But yeah. E12 Vantage, which yeah, that's also an interesting one too, because yeah, that's a Vantage, because the Vantage we have is a V8. This is a V12 Vantage, so this is a very special one in regards. But yeah, we do have some special GT3 cars, and Aston Martin is one of those cases where we have two special ones. We have the VBR10, and then we have that Vantage there, because that Vantage is not a V8, that's a V12, which is crazy we have that. Yeah, I will say this event would be more appeasing if it wasn't a 5 lap crap stain on the money, because the money is awful for this endurance race. 20 minutes. You know what you get for 20 minutes? 170 grand. That's all you get. You know what you get for 30 plus minutes on the grade 4 one? You get 550. And also if you do clean bonus, it's 825. If you do clean bonus on this one, which is like 170, it's like 250. That is such a far cry of a difference. It's not even funny. Oh yeah, I am looking at the weird Peter thing. Look at that Peter. It stands tall and it's very imposing. Why is he even there? Why can't you just be a regular gauge for that occasion? I mean, although they're trying to show the whole future technology and stuff, like, oh look, instead of having a dashboard, you can have a HUD system for your car, a powered HUD system on your windshield and stuff. I don't know if that would be a great design or a terrible design at the end of the day, but it does remove the whole mechanical stuff at the end of the day, so it technically makes things easier. It's a weird sign. Oh yeah, and I also learned about carbon fiber. Yeah, you don't want to be touching that carbon fiber stuff. That stuff will get on you. So that's why that stuff is getting eventually replaced, because yeah, it turns out carbon fiber is a bad environment material. There is plans to make a healthier alternative though, and stuff, but I don't know. Thinking it's not like, it's like I also saw an article too that, oh hey, we can now infinitely make gasoline now because there's a way to suck in the carbon dioxide stuff, CO2 in other words, and turn it into gasoline somehow with this machine that someone made. That Fox News talked about too, because usually I kind of dodge it because it's some random article, but the Fox News talked about it, which is interesting. Although Fox News is known for lie too, so they're not much better, but it's still shocking though. Heck, I almost fell asleep there. So, what I just did there, I accidentally hit circle. If I hit circle again, I would have exited. But to say though, it's just kind of funny about that. It's like, oh, okay, I guess gasoline's not the problem anymore. It's kind of shocking, and I was like, wow, okay. Although I think it technically does more than just gasoline, but gasoline's one of the easier makes for it. But yeah, you can apparently make like 1 gallon of gasoline for 22 hours or something like that. I don't know. I just read some of the article, I just can't remember where it was at. I just know it was in Fox, I recall. One of the things Fox talked about. Yeah, an RX Vision, or yeah, the RX-9 in other words. Okay, hopefully this car gets made someday. Although, I mean, the thing is, rotary gas motors are, I don't know if they're good or bad at the end of the day. It's really weird to say, because you have to deal with a constant maintenance and stuff, which is not a great thing to deal with for the pistons, where they go up and down. Rotaries keep on spinning and constantly keep rubbing, and as a result, rubbing is faster build-up than pistons would ever achieve. This is why people diss on rotary big time. And then the other problem about rotary is their sound. Their sound is high-pitched, very high-pitched. Like, the faster you're going to push that dial, the faster it's going to wiggle in there. So, and then, especially when it comes to applying the turbo to a rotary, it can get really bad. Because you would think, oh, you can just stick a turbo thing on that. No, if you see a regular RX-7, their turbos have to be like balancely coordinated to hit the right funnel to produce the turbo. Otherwise, you get no turbo if it's not balanced right at all. I just know I saw a YouTube video of a guy talking about it because he was trying to rebuild his RX-7 up to snuff after buying it and stuff. Looks like hell. It looks like hell. Like I said. compared to like any other car. So I'm not surprised people just, you know, dissing on rotaries at the end of the day. It does make me wonder though if a single piston rotary is fine nowadays, considering how much technology has gotten good. And a Mazda Cosmos was a great vehicle at the time too, and then you had the Mazda RX too. So it makes me wonder if you probably should go back to one rotary motor, because that's the great part about rotary motors, they're tiny. They can be adorable little motors about the size of your heater. Let's say the size of a heater or something. That's the word. But yep, just daily driving the way there, basically. That's the horrible part about this. That's why I almost feel like I'm falling asleep. There will be cases you're gonna be seeing me slipping through this race, and that's why. So it's like. But yep, and then you got the Mercedes. Did you a Supra? What else is to say about that thing? Audi R8 LMS, the GTR Nismo, the Subaru WRX, G12 Vantage is at 8 right now. Okay, that's the first 8 right now. But yeah, I'm not surprised the Viper is, because I know that the Viper, when controlled by the AI, they're usually really good on that part. Although I will say the Viper, the Grade 4 has competition. You deal with the freaking 155 Alfa Romeo. You know that thing is broken anyways because it's all-wheel drive. It's an all-wheel drive GTM that time. There's anything else to mention? I guess there's more to mention about that Supra. Even though I just joked and said no, there is. So and apparently you can tune it up to 1,200 horsepower. Someone discovered, apparently for that 300 horsepower motor. So I guess the whole Supra heritage does live on, even though that's like a BMW motor. It's weird, very strange. In regards, I guess it's just safe to say people just don't know whether to say this is a bad motor or a good motor. But I would say mostly bad because it's BMW. But I also don't say bad because I don't know my shit on that, so you know. You got the Lexus RCF. Got a V8. It's got a V8. The strange V8 that Toyota does, which is kind of surprising. I figured they would just turn to a V6 at the end of it. You got the 458 Italia with no decal once again. Oh yeah, then you have the M6 GT3, that's right. I think you also have the Sprint one here somewhere. Yeah, that's the Sprint one. But yeah, you have both the Endurance and the Sprint in this race, which I think by fuel they're kind of the same. And you get the Ford GT race car, which yeah, I had to fit here because yeah, the paint car takes about 4 laps. Months, which is pretty good. Pretty fast in regards. You have the Corvette C7. So yeah, 352 at 4 laps. That's crazy. I don't know if this is the same drain amount as the WTC 700. I have to look again. I don't think it was. Okay, after quick checking, yeah, it is. It's the same amount of fuel. I'm kind of surprised about that. It's like, oh, okay, it is fuel 6. I had to check that. It's like, interesting, but yeah, I'm finally on the final lap, so everyone, wake up, we're almost done. Even though, except for me, because I still feel like I'm drowsing. Anyway there, but yeah, Corvette C7 is a big old disappointment, I gotta say. What you did sit in the back? And the Alfa Romeo 4C, which not surprised, even though that's a special 4C, because its wheelbase is longer. That's in the bio notes for that one. You get the Ford GT. The NSX, which is also special because it doesn't have a hybrid system. Thank the Lord, but instead, I think what it has for motors is Civic, I believe. Crazy part. Some sort of motor that, in terms of size, I believe it's on par with the Civic or something like that. It's pretty weird. But I guess it's crazy to believe that inline fours or this small motor to this day hits about 600 to 800 horsepower nowadays. It's crazy to think that. Probably more of a reason why motors are getting smaller and why, you know, we're going from inline 6 to inline 4s or something like that. So then what Mercedes did to the C63, for example. So apparently that one got changed for sure. Because, yeah, you can just slap a hybrid system to it and make it even quicker than ever and more fuel efficient. Because, yeah, that's the great part about hybrid systems, that the only part about hybrid systems is more maintenance on hand. Even though there's been now a discovery for better battery life for hybrids now, using certain materials and stuff currently. I just know I saw an article of that too. I don't know if these articles are fake at the end of the day. It always makes me wonder. But they do sound very exaggerated at the end of the day. So, oh, and the Supra's beating the Viper. Which, not surprised. I bet he had to feel more. Alright, Fraga's winning. Which, not surprised, because usually he's the top contender, really. He's usually the true top contender. Get on to the victory lane here. Let's do one last look around of the car. Stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be just focused on the car at this point. But yeah, the Honda N2025 is a pretty nice car at the end of the day. It shocks me the fact it's an all-wheel drive that's not a hybrid. Usually, when they're all-wheel drives, they're usually hybrids and stuff. So yeah, I'm just driving my way there. Oh yeah, and also say 4 laps. Usually I had to lean too. I lean to the 2. It's just kind of weird to see no spoiler on this car. Which I will say, the other version's interesting, because yeah, this is a grade 1 variant. There's also a Vision variant that is full electric. I'm gonna guess that's terrible at the end of it. Yep, there we go. That's basically the end of that. Alright, everyone wake up. Wake up! Yep. So now for the rewards. You could probably guess these rewards since they're all 4 stars. Although, I will say these are just driver ones. But, pocket change, yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah, pocket change!
Yeah, yeet!
You get pocket change, you get pocket change, you get pocket change, and you get pocket change. Everyone gets pocket change. Get pocket change. I didn't just took that rip from a Pepsi man. Rip? No. Yeah, more pocket change. Yeah, there's 800,000, so overall 860,000. Oof. But anyways, now onto actual fun and stuff. As I leave you guys to this little bonus clip I just did for the heck of it. But until then, people, I'll see you guys all next time. You guys take care and stuff. Because yeah, I decided to drive the 500 with the bike motor and try to see how well does it compete against the 550 Pubman car. Because usually this is the tough race to do and such. And I will say, did not really tune this that much, even though if there's one thing to say, it has really shitty brakes. It is not that great, but it did it. I'll just say that in advance. But until then, people, I'll see y'all next time. You guys take care, and I hope you enjoyed what you watched. Till then, people, take care.